Okay. The first M in madness. M is for minimum 150 contact day per week. M is for minimum 150 contact day per week. At least one day every week for the month of March, make a commitment to hit 50 contacts. Now, we tend to do an ultimate prospecting day every Wednesday. Okay. So maybe it's a Wednesday for you, but if you don't like Wednesdays because, you know, who knows, maybe, you know, you got some personal vendetta against Wednesdays. I don't know. Okay. Do it Thursday, do it Monday, do it Tuesday, Friday. Maybe you do it multiple days a week. Again, minimum 150 contact day. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to that as well. Okay. So I'm going to make Wednesdays for me a 50 contact day. So if you want to create a sheet and email it, or we can have some sort of accountability, I'm more than happy to do that. But we are in the talk to people business, and you've got to make March the month that you're going to talk to more people. So Vicky brought up something interesting today. She said she didn't get hung up on one time today, and she was on open mic. I heard her calling. Okay. So I know that she's calling people, talking about, not one person hung up.
Hey, how you doing?
People, I'm doing great. Thanks, boss. People want to talk to people. They're sitting around. They haven't talked to anyone in a while. They want to go out. They want to do things. They want to talk to people. Now is a great time. And I got to tell you, there's still a lot of real estate agents that are not in business. There's a lot of agents that have their licenses hung with our company that I have to check every day if their license is still hung here, because I have no idea where they are. So this is the great opportunity, I say this all the time, to take someone else's database. Okay, there are a lot of databases up for grabs right now that are not being called, and you can do that. So make a commitment that at least one day per week, minimum 150 contact day per week. Well, who do I call? Just listed, just sold, database, leads. Okay. So question came up. Well, do text messages count? I'm not as lenient on that as, you know, other people, because some of you just send too many text messages and it's too easy. You gotta talk a little bit. You gotta get on the phone. Okay. You gotta get on the phone. So I would make it an actual conversation. Okay. Now there's only one, if you call 50 contacts in a day and they're all one source, don't do that. Don't make it all one source. Why? Because if you did 50 just listed calls in a day, is that 50th contact on that one script going to be as energized and exciting as the first one? Probably not. That's just human nature. You're going to get bored. Eventually you're going to go like this. Hi, my name's Robert, Century 21. You're the 45th person I'm using the script on today. I just listed a property down the street, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So switch it up. 4 or 5 different sources. Make 10 contacts, switch up the source. Make 10 contacts, switch up the source. Different script, different people. Call a different neighborhood. Okay, but minimum 150 contact day per week. Okay, A, going down. So that's M. So A is for all caps, aggressive in all caps, lead follow-up. Now you hear aggressive all the time, but I want M for March. I want the madness to be like uber aggressive, super aggressive, maddening aggressive. I want you to write this down. What would it take for you to sell your home today? Sometimes we have leads, and we all have them. I have them in recruiting. Some of you have them for buyers and sellers. We're following up. Yeah, you know, we'll see what happens. Ask them the question, what would it take for you to sell your home today? Not in a mean way, in a conversational way. Well, I don't know. You know, I got a few things I need to take care of. Okay, great. Move on. I mean, you don't have to delete them. You don't have to throw them away, but they're not a lead today. But if they say, well, you know, it's really going to have to make financial sense. Great. What does financial sense means to you? Let's look at the numbers. Aggressive. Okay. Lead follow-up is great, but we've got to get these leads moving on or moving out. Write this down. You have 1 week to move them or move them out. So give you an example. Monday morning or Sunday, whatever day you want to start, I want you to lay out all your leads, right? If you have them on 3x5 cards, you have them on your paper, whatever, okay? Where are they at in the process? You have a week to move them to the next step in the process. Otherwise, you have to delete them. So give you an example. Okay, here's a lead. It's John. He's a seller lead. He wants me to follow up to set an appointment. Okay, great. So your job over the next week is to set an appointment. You don't even have to get a contract signed. You don't have to go on the appointment, but you at least have to have a listing appointment set. So you're going to aggressively call them 4 or 5 times, okay, throughout the week to find out an answer. So then next Monday comes along, you look at your leads. Well, John, where was he at last week? Oh, I was going to follow up to set an appointment. Did you? Nope. Move on. I got a buyer lead. Okay, they're getting pre-approved. Okay, great. Next Monday comes around. They get pre-approved? Nope. Move on. You got a week to move them to the next step. And if they don't want to move forward in the next step in a week, move on. But you can only do that if you do aggressive lead follow-up, meaning that, well, I text them once on Tuesday. Nope. You got to call 4 or 5 times, send a text message, email, whatever the case be. You've got to get these people moving forward. It's too hard to get buyers into escrow and too few listings to just hang on to leads. You've got to go. So aggressive lead follow-up. Well, Robert, I mean, I don't want to be pushy. Then you shouldn't be in sales. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you that. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be aggressive. There's admin openings, customer service reps. You're a salesperson. Your job is to get them from point A to point B, not in a mean way. If they don't want to do it, then move on. Go find somebody else. Okay? That's just the way it goes. All right, so that's A, aggressively follow. D, so we're at MAD. D is don't be okay with average. Don't be okay with average. Not this month. When we go to April, we can go back and we do average again. No, I'm just kidding. Don't be okay with average. I love the way Neil always puts this. Neil always talks about this, right? And he says, nobody pays for average. When's the last time you said, hey, you know what we should do tonight? We should go to that really average restaurant. You know what we should do? We should stay home and watch that really average movie. That's what we should do tonight. Like, nobody says that. Nobody pays for average. Nobody wants average. Write this down. If you're average in real estate today, you're out of business. It's just too hard. It's just too hard. So don't be average. Now, here's the beauty. The beauty of that is it's pretty easy to not be average in real estate. You are already above average. How do I know? You showed up. You've already passed level 1 of being above average in real estate. You showed up. Because there's a lot of agents that are not showing up. And trust me, it's not because they got it all figured out. Okay? It's not because they got it all figured out. Nancy Dupre kicks agents' asses every day, and yet she's here. Okay? So it's the agents that are here aren't because they got it all figured out. Okay? So you're already winning because you showed up. You're here. You're listening. You're participating. Remember Mike Ferry said in January, this is the year of participation? So now you take the next step. Well, average agents don't practice every day. You should practice every day. Average agents don't prospect. You should prospect. Average agents don't work on their listing presentation. They use their own presentation. Don't do that. Work on your listing presentation. Average agents are okay going a week with nothing happening. Don't be that agent. Average agents are okay blaming the market. Don't be that agent. Don't be average. Nobody pays for average. If you're average in today's market, you're out of business. You got to be above average or better. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. Don't be average. All right, N. So we're at madness. M, we got M, we got A, we got D, now N. N is for next level practice. That's why we created this little game for our 8 a.m. role play, right? Next level practice. So write this down. Poor practice, no matter how much you do, will not make you any better. That is one of my favorite Mike Ferry lines ever. So when I say next level practice, 1 is practice more. 2, really get into it. I understand it's hard sometimes because there's no money behind it. There's no adrenaline behind it, but you got to take it to the next level. Here's what I mean. You can't role play like this. Okay. Well, okay. So give me the script. Okay. We're going to do the just listed. All right. Hey, John, it's Robert Hertel, Century 21 Masters. I'm calling because I just listed a property at 123 Main Street. It's listed for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and just want to see if you know anyone that wants to move into the area. I'm not going to make it any better. That's not going to make it any better. You got to be intense about it. If you're going to practice your listing presentation, pre-qualify the person before the presentation. Give them real comps. Don't just write comp. Don't just write on a scratch piece of paper. Okay, 3, 2, and 1,400. Print out real comps. Do a real CMA. That's taking it to the next level. That's how you do it. Write this down. Why can't I practice my listing presentation every day? Why can't I practice my listing presentation every day? Now, that could be a role play listing presentation. That could be writing it out every day. That could be chanting it out. There's no reason why at some capacity for 30 minutes a day, you can't role play, write, or chant out your listing presentation. So you have to ask yourself, why can't I work on my listing presentation every day? Do we all agree that the listing presentation is probably the most important thing you can figure out? Absolutely. So work on it every day. 2 things you need to work on every day: your listing presentation and your mindset. Because if you don't have either one of those 2 things figured out, it's hard. It's tough. If you have a poor mindset, you're done. It's over. So you got to work on that every day. Sometimes you got to work on it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. That's okay. And if you don't have a presentation, you don't have a shot. So you got to work on it every day. Okay. You talk about Michael Jordan, right? I mean, Michael Jordan, you know, he was the best. To me, he's obviously a very fun debate. Guy worked on his jump shot every day. Why? Because if he didn't have a jump shot, he wasn't going to be the best of all time. Because eventually, you know, your athleticism goes away. You can't just keep driving and jumping over people. So you got to do those things every day. Why can't you do it every day? Next level practice, more presentation practice. Okay. Write this down. The best way to handle objections is to not get them. What do I mean by that? Here's a Mike Ferry line for you. There's a direct correlation to the quality of your presentation and the number of objections you get. Got to get it. Work on it. Work on your scripts. Work on your scripts every day. Ask yourself this question every day. When you're prospecting every day, okay? If Karen Bernardi, Neil Weichel, Lee Marcus, any of those people, if they called the same list, would they have gotten another lead? Would they have gotten another deal? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But you have to have that mindset that I got to be as good as them when they're calling or door knocking. Next level practice. Next level practice. Okay. Do it for March. Do it. I mean, we're talking about 30 days. All right. So we've got M, we got A, we got D, and I'll go over all these again at the end. That was N. So here's E. E is for energy, excitement, enthusiasm. Have you heard that before? Energy, excitement, enthusiasm. Some of you, this comes naturally. You're just naturally energetic, enthusiastic. Some of you, it's hard. Some of you, it's really hard. But you need to have energy and enthusiasm. Write this down. It's amazing how many airs energy overcomes. Amazing how many airs energy overcomes. I've used this example time and time again. Okay, but I'm going to say it. I'll use it once more when it comes to this, because it's just a simple, easy reminder. Okay, and that's Nora Alvarez in Queens, New York. You've heard me talk about her. You've seen her on stage, Mike Ferry events. This lady is from Colombia, been in the United States for 30 years, still very, very hard to understand in English. But she's got this bright smile and this amazing energy. And she just goes out and talks to people and even though you can't understand her very well. And she's made over $10 million in commission in her career. That's pretty good. And English is her second language, 30 years, still doesn't speak, but everyone wants to talk to her because she's just got this abundance of energy and enthusiasm. And she just talks to everyone possible. Energy sells. People do not want to work with boring people. Okay. Now, you don't have to be me. That's a lot. Okay. But Mike Ferry's a driver, but he's got energy. You feel his energy when he's there. He's excited to be there. Okay. He's excited to present. You sense that. Okay. There's certain people that are analyticals and things like that. You sense the energy. So you don't have to be over the top, but you've got to be excited. You have to smile more. Write this down. The best way to make a great first impression is to smile. Best way to make a great first impression is to smile. That's energy. It's not what you said. It was just you walked in with a smile on your face and it was just like, this is a different energy. This is a different vibe. This goes back to being average, because in today's world, being average is not energetic. It's not smiling. It's, I want to be mad. I want to be angry. I want to blame. I'd rather hate on people. That shit gets old. People don't want to hear that forever. They want to hear someone who's going to make them smile, make them feel energetic. Don't be average. Don't be that person. I apologize for cursing, but sometimes you got to, it just drives the point home. Okay. Don't do that. Energy, excitement, enthusiasm. Okay. S, there's two S's. The first S is for selling is asking questions. Selling is asking questions. Ask more questions. Ask more questions. Ask more questions. I do this on coaching calls all the time. Why are they doing that? You know what? Get to it. Why are they buying? Why are they selling? Well, they want to cash out. Why? Well, because it's a hot market. But what are they going to do with the money? I don't know. I didn't ask. You should ask. Ask more questions. Selling is asking questions. Ask more questions. Get deeper into the conversations. More about what they want to accomplish. More about what they want to do. Okay? Just ask. You follow the script. There's a bunch of asking questions, but really get better at asking questions so you can get deeper at that. Deeper into that. Okay? Somebody says, well, I'm thinking about buying in this neighborhood. Okay, why? I don't know. Why? Like a 5-year-old. Like a 5-year-old. Why? 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 5-year-olds can get you to confess anything in the world. Okay? If cops really wanted to convict somebody on a murder, they'd have a 5-year-old interrogate them. Where were you on the night of Tuesday the 6th? I was in San Diego. Why? I got a friend down there. Why? They moved there from Indiana. Why? Okay, I did it. Like a 5-year-old could break anybody down. Why? Over and over again. You do the same thing. Why? Write this down. Tell me more about that. If you ever get stuck, just say that. Tell me more about that. Well, we're selling our house because we want to move to Irvine. Oh, great. Tell me more about that. Boom, boom, boom. Selling is asking questions, more questions, get deeper. And then when you figure out more of that stuff, you can go back to it. Because it's hard to convince somebody to sell when it's just, it's such a hot market. Well, I'm thinking about selling because the market's so crazy. It's hard to go back to that. There's got to be a bigger reason. Well, what would you do with the money? Well, I'd probably invest it in a business. Wow, what kind of business do you have? Well, I've always wanted to open up my own record store. No kidding. Wow, where would you do that? Tell me more about that. How much money do you need? So if we sold this house and you got $200,000 out, you could take $100,000, invest in that record store, right? Right. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Do you already have a location picked out? Sure do. Now I can get this sale. Dig deeper. Dig deeper. Okay, so that's the first S. So now the second S is stop waiting for things to go, quote, back to normal. See, not all of you, most of you actually on here, this doesn't qualify too much for, but it does to some of you, is you're not being aggressive enough, you're not going out there enough because you're waiting for things to, quote unquote, go back to normal. Whenever I hear, and I'll just be, I do my best to be honest with you, okay? When people complain right now about business being slow because of the coronavirus, I just hang up the phone. I don't care if it's a coaching call or not. I just hang up the phone. Like, dude, we're a year into this. We're a year into this. Like, figure it out. We have, a bunch of other people have. No. We're waiting for things to go back to normal. Oh, why? There's still business out there. There's still things happening, Well, how do you think the vaccine's going to affect things? I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to go. Somebody's taking a listing today. Why not be me? Somebody's getting a buyer into escrow today. Why not be me? There's no vaccine or no vaccine, coronavirus or no coronavirus. Doesn't matter. Stop waiting for things to go, quote, back to normal. Normal is what you make of it. How do you know that, let's say everyone got vaccinated tomorrow, that all of a sudden everything would be just, it's like 2016 all over again. How do you know that would happen? How do you know people are just going to rush out to go do things? How do you know that all the restaurants are going to be booming again? And life is just going to be so wonderful. And there's going to be listings and, oh God, it's going to be utopia. You don't know that. Don't worry about it. Go get the business that's there today. And if you just focus on going and get the business there today, if it does go back to normal, then you'll be in prime position to get that business too. But stop waiting for things to go, quote unquote, back to normal. Normal is what you make of it. We're a year into this. This is kind of normal right now. It may not be fun. I still haven't gone to a movie theater in a year and it's driving me nuts. Okay. But this is what it is. You deal with it. Okay. So stop waiting for that. Well, what about this? What about this? I don't care. Somebody in your neighborhood, somebody in your marketplace, somebody in the area that you prospect is going to sign a listing today, is going to open up escrow today. It's just going to happen. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to go through these again, right? So M for madness. M is for minimum 150 contact day per week. Minimum 150 contact day per week. A is for aggressive, in all caps, aggressive lead follow-up. D is for don't be okay with average. Nobody pays for average. N is for next level practice. E is for energy, excitement, enthusiasm. S is for selling is asking questions. And the second S is stop waiting for things to go, quote unquote, back to normal. If you follow this right here, just this simple little kind of fun, right? We made it out, made it kind of fun out of this, but it's a 7 different steps there. You follow this, March is going to be madness in a good way. You're going to have business. You're going to have leads. You're going to have things going on. It is going to be a great month. Just this simple formula. Okay.
Robert,
yeah,
I'm going to be a pain. I walked away just for a second. Can you just say the first March, what March is again, really quick?
Yeah, no problem. M, the first M is for minimum 150 contact day per week. A is for aggressive lead follow-up, all caps and aggressive. D is for don't be okay with average. N is for next level practice. E is for energy, excitement, enthusiasm. S is for selling is asking questions. And then the second S is for stop waiting for things to go, quote, back to normal.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Robert,
Okay, so you actually spelled the word madness. You didn't.
I actually spelled the word madness. Yes.
Okay, got it.
so
Yes.
150 contacts, does that mean?
No, 150 contact day per week.
Oh,
So one day out of the week.
50. Okay,
Good
got
question. Good question, Sasha. One day out of the week, make at least 50 contacts on the phone or at the doors. Okay. You can text as part of your business, but make at least one day where you're actually talking to people, like verbally talking to people, because the text messages are great, but I think some of you are using the text a little too loosely as part of your contacts. Okay. So you can text, it's great, but you got to talk to people too. So
what's D for?
Don't be okay with average. Don't be okay with average. And again, the best part is that it's easy to not be average in real estate. Those of you that are here are already step above everyone else because you're participating. That's part of just being above average. Okay. So if you, the next part of that, just to kind of wrap this all up here, is create a little plan for yourself for March, right? And I wrote down 5 basic things here, stuff that, you can always, the stuff we use all the time. But you could put down, in the month of March, I will take blank listings. So what's the goal? 1 listing? Is it 2 listings? Is it 3, 4? I don't know. But in the month of March, set a goal for yourself. Make it realistic, okay? If you've never taken more than 2 listings in a month, don't put 5. I love you, and I think you can do it, but don't put 5, okay? If you've never taken more than 2. Because I'm more of a fan of, I want to push my goals, but I got to make it realistic, because if I don't reach my goals, it's frustrating. Okay. That's just me personally. I know some people are like, oh, shoot for the moon and you end in the stars. I just think I'm floating in space. Okay. So that's my own psychobabble inside my head. Okay. So I will take blank listings. In the month of March, I will sell blank listings. So if you already have a listing taken right now, or you have a contract signed, how many listings are you going to sell? In the month of March, I will do blank buyer sales. So how many buyer sales are you going to close in the month of March? Okay. In the month of March, I will generate blank in income. What's the income goal for the month of March? And then the fifth one I wrote down, in the month of March, I will do blank contracts. So how many properties will you put in pending, listings or buying? Okay, how many pendings do you want for the month of March? Again, this is just basic. It's a 5-step thing to just give yourself some production-related goals for the month of March that you can track. You have something to do. Now, what I would recommend is take this stuff and keep it with you all the time so you can see it. Remind yourself of how many listings you're going to take, how many buyer sales you're going to do, how many pendings you're going to get, right? Remind yourself of this all the time. Keep these goals in front of you. And then if you need a little bit more, if you didn't like the actual madness thing that I did put down 8 things here that we've talked about in the past of an additional plan to make March a really great month. And you could see that for those of you that haven't had a chance to download that sheet. Number 1 was increase my daily contacts to blank. So if your daily contacts is 10 on average, you're going to increase it to what? If it's 20, whatever, what are you going to increase your daily contacts to? 2, turn up aggressive lead follow-up 3 different times each day. Remember Al from the Mark and Al team, Al Jaffricani, I almost called him Al Kofer. It's Mark Kofer and Al Jaffricani. Al Jaffricani, I remember, said that when he has a lead, if it's a hot lead, and he's one of those guys that, yeah, I'm going to get a lead. I'm either going to get him out or move him forward or move him out. And he would call them first thing in the morning, midday, and the afternoon. So we'd call them 3 different times a day at different times, figuring, I don't know, got a chance of getting hold of him one of those times. This is why it's always good, if you don't know this, to make notes of when you're calling people, because sometimes you might not realize it, but you're calling them at 9:30 every single day and they never answer. Well, they might not be available at 9:30. So call them at 2:30, call them at 5. Okay, call them different times of the day. Number 3, prospect 2 hours Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 11. Add some additional 2 hours of prospecting for March, right? Saturday morning, call some people. Number 4, prospect 1 evening per week for 90 minutes. So, I put here starting at 6:30. If you want to start at 5:30, you want to start at 6, you want to start at 5, but do 1 evening prospecting, 90 minutes. See if you can get some extra people at home. Okay. Number 5, make Wednesdays in March Money Wednesday, 6 hours of prospecting. We do our ultimate prospecting day every Wednesday. Literally make Wednesday an ultimate prospecting day. Fill up the pipeline. Okay. Number 6, ask each current client each week in March. So each current client each week, who else do you know that would like to buy or sell that I can help? So not just your database, who are your leads right now? Don't wait until it closes to ask them for referrals. Ask them during the transaction. Ask them while they're showing them houses. You have a listing contract signed, but it's not on the market yet for 2 weeks. Still ask them. Hey, I know, your listing's going to be on the market in 2 weeks, but I'm just curious, who else do you know that I can help? Number 7, have a great attitude every day in March, repeating affirmations every day out loud. I told you the 2 things you need to work on every day are mindset and your listing presentation. If you don't work on your mindset every day, you can't have a great attitude every day. That's just human nature. It's not any fault of yours. We just can't. There's just too much crap. We can't do it. We've got to work on it every day. And number 8, give my goals and plan to 3 people and ask them to hold me accountable. Need accountability.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear you.
Give my goals and plan to 3 people and ask them to hold me accountable. Got to have that accountability. We will let ourselves off the hook. So there you go. Questions, thoughts, concerns on anything that I had gone over?
Can you email that little chart you made?
Uh-huh.
Please, thank you. I left my computer at home.
No problem. No problem. I will do that. All right. Look, everybody, it's March 1st. We can have some fun. Okay. But we're going to push. We're going to be aggressive. Okay? Only because we know that it's good for you, even though you sometimes don't want to hear it. Okay. We know it's good for you. This could be a really, really cool month. We're 2 months into the year. Some of you are on track for some really, really cool things. Some of you are on track for right on par, and some of you are a little bit behind. The good news is it's only 2 months. Got 10 months to go. So no matter where you're at in the year, let's make March the month. It's beautiful outside, right? Things are moving and shaking. All right. So let's make March the month. So March Madness all the way to the bank, baby. All right, everybody. That's all I got. Thank you so much.